I know Pooja and Vivan are. Shobit, hi. Hi, Ankit. Hmm. Sorry, people. I clicked on something and. Right, sorry, I clicked on something and it dropped. Hi, Sunita.
Hi.
Hello. So we were just getting acquainted in the room, just trying to see who's around, and we'll get started in a minute. But how are you feeling?
Amazing. Good, good, good.
Awesome. Happy Holi to everyone.
Yes, happy Holi to everyone. It's gone, and I'm sure people who are still here, thanks everyone actually, because I'm sure most of people are actually resting. But whoever is here, that's so cool of every one of you.
Right. I'm going to postpone my Holi celebrations till the weekend, but
Oh.
well, you see, you get 3 days instead of one day. Right. But Sunita, thank you so much for joining us today. And what we'll do is a bit of a rapid fire with how you have gotten to where you have gotten to. I can hear my echo. Voice still okay? Hi, Ram. So basically, I don't know how many of you in the club. I think quite a few people around in Crater know me already. You may or may not know Sunita, and I know this is streaming across platforms as well. So just for the benefit of people who don't know me, and perhaps even for the benefit of people who have known me for a bit, um, most of you probably did not know that even before I started my corporate career with Deloitte and all of that, I used to be a digital marketing person back in like 2007, 8, something like that, before digital marketing was cool. And thanks to this lady here, Sunita Piddu, who's been, I think, arguably probably one of the earliest people who went into digital marketing, explored all of it, still does it. And I have always been quite impressed by her and by the courage that she's had to um, look at her career completely differently. And again, remember, digital marketing now is cool and a must have, but back in the day, it wasn't. It wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even called digital marketing. So, Sunita, over to you. You did you did not study digital marketing or even marketing in college, did you?
No, I didn't.
What did you study?
I did my master's in biotechnology, so I have been coming from medical background, did my genetics in graduation, then master's in biotechnology. So yeah, marketing, digital was nowhere.
Right. And what made you get into digital marketing back in the day, back before any of the like people were really thinking about it? How did you land on that?
So Deshna, I have answered this question actually several times since then. And it still remains one of the most interesting questions to me and of course to the audience. So the reason why I chose to come into digital. Digital marketing is a huge, huge industry, like huge, because the world is today it is not possible to run the world without digital marketing. So today it is everything to people. It's impossible for us to be without phones for more than 2 days, without Facebook, without social media. It's not possible, and it's career for most of the people today. Businesses are being run with digital marketing. But back then, there was internet, there was a connection. And what I did is what I loved. I always loved actually medical sciences, and I wanted to be a scientist. But when I did my uh, internships with some of the most reputed places like Renbaxi and National Brain Research Center, I did not like the lifestyle of people doing the same thing every day, being in the same room. It was not something. So that was an eye opener to me. And since that day, I started figuring out what can I do where I don't have to work that much. One, and I make what I want to make without any limit. That means I want to make as much money I'm thinking of without putting a limit to it. And third, I wanted to have an ownership of my time. As I didn't want to work much, that means there were some days when I wanted to work, and there will be days when I don't want to work, and still I'm making money. So that kind of vision, that kind of dream, I'm sure it was unrealistic to me, to a lot of people. But yeah, I wanted to do it actually. I knew that I had just one life and I had to figure a way out to do this. And that time I made up my mind that I'm not going to be a scientist. I'm not going to do any job. I'm certainly going to do something that gives me the freedom, a lot of money, a lot of time. So, this kind of dream, you can say, this kind of wish to have a lifestyle, yeah, it made me switch.
Okay, but how did you land on digital marketing? Because it wasn't a common thing back then. So kudos to you for realizing at a very, very early stage of your career what you want and need, because I feel like most people don't spend that time introspecting about, okay, this is what society has told me to do, but actually, what is it that I want? And you figured that out really early on. But from there on, what were your next steps to actually figuring it out on, okay, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to park my car?
There is something that I want to share here. One of the reasons why I got into digital was I was an introvert person. And second, back then, I did not know really how to speak to people. I did not have courage to get social with people. I was someone who can stay in a room silent for days, weeks, and months, literally without talking to someone. And of course, we can't live life like that. We need people, we need money, we need some identity. And that's when I got to know about internet. That's when I got to know about chat. And yeah, I started chatting with people actually, because without being face to face, that was the only way to make friends since I didn't have any friends. When I started making friends, I realized that the whole world is actually connected with the chat. And if we can have entertainment with internet, why can't we make money with internet? And that's when I started figuring out, okay, so what can I do that people need all around the world and that I have to? And after doing a lot of thinking, I realized that I'm good at expressing myself. I'm good at observations. I'm good at thinking. Later on, I found myself literally genius at thinking, and that's what I'm monetizing right now. So I started utilizing all of these strengths and I played on my strengths and realized that, okay, so content was something that the entire world needed, even if digital websites, SEO, everything was new. I
Mm.
started trying my hands on content, and one fine day, accidentally, I filled up a form on some websites. It was actually totally accidental. This guy replied back. I said that, okay, I can do something probably in writing. And my first ever project was for $200 and it was a work of 2 hours. So in 2 hours, I thought, okay, in 2 hours, in 2004, I can make $200. Damn, I didn't have any limits. So after that, I was unstoppable. I literally cracked content in every possible way, whichever way it was possible. And I learned how to speak less and mean more, how to make content shorter and still convey the entire message. So, yeah, practice made everything possible. I started with content.
That is amazing and that is eye-opening when you have this why do I want to do it? What do I want to do? You'll figure out the how, and the universe almost drops that on you. And it was so familiar, Sunita. Even I think I discovered content not through chat rooms, but through, I really wanted to make like my pocket money. And I was like, I wanted a lot of pocket money. It was and I just ended up doing, like, we did a lot of work together. Back in the day, I didn't even know your name. That is how far back it goes. Yeah.
Hmm.
And we started on like PayPal and all of these things. Like the world was a whole different place. And sometimes when I think about it, it makes me go like, wow, these were some really, really early indicators of where the world was going. In terms of content, then, Sunita, from then to now, how have you seen it evolve in your career and also what? Yeah, first let's tackle that one. How have you seen it evolve in your career?
Content still remains the core, Sudeshna, because whether it is social media or it is blogging or it is a website, whether it is PR, you can't do anything without content. Whether it is a one-liner or it's a complete white paper, content is the core of marketing. Even when you are speaking, we are speaking actually. So this is content. This is audio content. There are some people who are not comfortable in texting, typing. They can actually go with video marketing, but content remains the core. What we have seen is expanding it and people acknowledging it and making the max of it actually. So there is no change, but it has actually expanded over time. It was important then, it is important now. But yeah, people have started exploring more of it. They have realized that yeah, it is important, it is valuable, and they are trying different ways of content, exploring more and more and more and creating different ways, but the core remains same.
Okay, great. In terms of content, then, like, obviously, over the last few years, we have seen like content explode in every possible format. And there's a lot of content that's not great out there. There's a lot of great content out there. There's a mix. Do you think that content marketing is perhaps the future of marketing, digital marketing, more than ads and other ways of marketing? And what makes content good? Like, because there's so much out there, can you really monetize content anymore?
So Deshna, we can't run ads without content.
Hmm.
The ads need content, whether it is video ad, audio ad, text ad, visual ad. You can't go blank. You need some text, some voice, some motion. So without content, even ads are not possible.
Hmm.
So there is something that we can do is organic content marketing and paid marketing actually. That is what we can talk about. So when to do ads and when to go organic, the only differentiator is the time. How much patience one has. When to do what. So if you have patience, if you can just go on, then go with content marketing, simple organic content marketing. Make sure that you have the right strategy, make sure that you know your audience and what do they want, and create content accordingly. If you feel that you are doing some serious business and you have money to invest, and you don't want to wait for long, say for a year or two, then start paid advertising at the same time. Run it for 6 7 months to show, to actually give some visibility to yourself, whether it is your personal brand or your business brand, whatever it is. It's okay to use paid ads right from day one, because organic content marketing may not give you that kind of reach and visibility. So it makes total sense to actually start doing paid advertising right from day one if you have made up your mind to invest on it really.
Got it. Um, if I just flip back on the other end of the spectrum about folks who are looking to get into the digital marketing space, what would your advice be to them? Should they choose a specialization from the get-go, or should they be more of a generalist marketing person and take it from there?
It depends upon what is the goal. Um, if the goal is just to get a job in a company, then learn digital marketing, learn everything, because you need to know everything to have a job. You can be an intern, you can be a trainee, and then you can be a junior digital marketing executive. However, so the base has to be there. The base is important, and the base means you know everything. So, for example, when we are doing uh, until 10th and to 10th, we study everything: physics, chemistry, bio, maths, social sciences, everything. We do literally everything. And then when we move to the secondary, which is 11th and 12th, then we specialize. When we graduate, then we further specialize. When we master, then we further specialize. So to make the base, yes, we have to learn everything. And then you decide what exactly you want to do. What is your goal? How much you want to make? What kind of identity you want to make? So if job is the goal, then learn digital marketing, because that is the only way you'll get a job. If you want to have a personal brand of your own, if you want to do a business, if you want to create a specific identity, if you want to make a lot of money, where again you don't want to put a full stop to the money, how much you're making, in that case I suggest go with a specialization, like this micro specialization. So, for example, a lot of people, they come to me and they say that I want to be a social media marketer. I want to get into. So people are understanding this, that they need to go niche. Now they say I want to be an SEO expert and I want to be a social media marketing executive, but you need to go micro specific. So I asked them, okay, so social media is vast, it's vast. You got to give yourself like 5 6 years to learn whole of social media. What exactly is your goal? Go further specific. See what social network you want to master, whether it is LinkedIn, it is Twitter, it is Instagram, it is Facebook, which one it is, because whichever you choose, you're going to take another 2 years actually to master that network and become a strategist, so that you can charge as much as you want the moment you master any specific thing. So you can master Google AdWords, you can master LinkedIn, you can master Instagram, you can master blogging, passion blogging, personal blogging, business blogging, you got to micro niche yourself. Only then you can go premium. So if you want to charge 50,000 a month for just one project, you got to go micro niche. Actually, you got to master something so that, I mean, you can't have a heart surgery with just an MBBS doctor. You will go to a heart specialist. And then you know how much you have to pay because you have already made up your mind. So same way, if you are going to a Facebook strategist, whatever they charge, you'll have to pay. And people pay. So go micro niche.
Awesome. Yes, the riches are in the niches, as they say. Um, so, Sunita, Jashan has a question for you. Shouldn't you post content on every platform? And this is something that I think there's a lot of debate in the industry. Gary Vaynerchuk obviously says that go every platform and you have to be there on every platform. But then I have heard so many people, like just you said, that go specific, build a following on one platform and then go to the other one. What would be your advice on that?
If it is for a personal brand, and if you have following and engagement on, if you have already managed to create a following on say four major platforms, and if you have workforce to manage those four platforms, then why not? Why just four? Be everywhere.
Mm,
Because you will need, it's not just posting content. If you have no following, if you have no audience, if you have no listeners, then who you are showing to? What is the meaning of posting content if nobody is looking at that? Actually, there is no point of posting content. So if you have managed to create a following, then yeah, do it. If you have a workforce who can manage that, then do it. Because mastering one network itself is demanding. You need to be there, you need to engage with people, you need to create a following, and it takes at least an hour to create a presence, to create a solid presence on one network. If I'm looking at four channels, then that means at least 4 hours every day. And then social media is not the only thing in your life. You have your personal life, you have your family, you got to do a lot of other things as well. Job is not the only thing. So yeah, if you have a workforce, if you have a following, if you have yeah, sources, then go ahead, post on every platform as long as you can manage.
understood. Um, Slightly related to that, and this comes up a lot in some of the entrepreneur groups that I'm a part of. Um, some people tend to say, okay, you need organic blogs, you need an email list, etc. Because Facebook might decide to throw out everyone from the groups and you'll lose your entire customer base. LinkedIn might choose to do something. We have seen social media platforms die in the past as well. When we try to go ultra specific on a platform, would you advise any specific platform, any specific order in which we want to position?
So see social media as a, as a place where there are people, and these are consumers. Whatever you will give them, they'll consume it. But that whatever you are giving, it has to have a source, it has to have a base, a foundation, and that is either your website or your blog. Because social media is like a rented place, you don't own it, but your website, your blog, you own that. Nobody can take that from you. So treat social media as a resource where audience is there. Don't treat it as your own property that you are mastering. I feel that just make use of it. Use it like a resource. As long as it is there, use it. As long as any social media is there, make the maximum use of it. But don't forget that you need to have an anchor somewhere. And that anchor becomes your website. Your blog is your anchor because that is your property. Social media is not your property. You are just supposed to use it as much as you can.
Amazing. I completely agree with that. And so many people come and tell me that, okay, I don't want to spend on a blog or a website. And I'll be like, okay, but you are running a big risk in your business by not doing that. But then I'm not definitely the digital marketing specialist here. Um, if I again flipped back to the career piece, then do you think, therefore, training yourself up and becoming a Facebook specialist or a Instagram specialist then has an additional risk to people's careers if they are doing it for a job?
So, as I said, social media is the base. Even if Facebook drops, let's presume Facebook drops, you still know social media. And most of the social media network, they have a common foundation. And the foundation is offer people what they need. Get social first. That is what social media, that is why we call it social media and not media social. So as long as you know how to get social, as long as you know what to create so that people they stay hooked to you, as long as you know that, you can switch the mastery. That's okay. That's what I said. That you need to have your own property. If you are choosing to specialize in something, then you have to create your own presence as well, because people will trust you when you have your presence. People can see you on social media, but they do not make decisions on social media. They make decision at your own property,
Yeah.
and they take their own time. So it's not like someone, so for example, someone saw me on LinkedIn or someone saw me on Facebook, they won't come asking to work with me right away. They probably will look for me on search. They would like to take a look at my other case studies as well. They'll go to my website, they'll read my blogs, they'll go to Twitter as well to verify something, they'll see my engagement, and they'll start to follow me. Then they'll keep watching me for a month. They'll
Mm.
judge me, they'll do everything. Once they are convinced, and they may come to my website again and again and again. Whenever they'll have a question, they'll come again. So social media just gives visibility, it does not give business. The decisions are actually made at your home, where people see just you. When they come to your blog, when they come to your website, there is no distraction. They just see you. Whichever page they click, they just see you, what you're offering, what you have to say, what questions you're answering. So to actually make a mark, whether it is your business or it is a job or you're specializing something, it's essential to have your own base.
Mm.
Any social network is not a base. It's just a place where you can go, you can show yourself up, but just come back, come to your anchor, come home, and that is where you invest most of your time.
Yeah.
That's where decisions are made.
Yeah. And if I may just even add that one other thing, that invite them to your home, um,
Yes.
because ultimately you, and especially with these data privacy things going crazier and crazier every day, you not being allowed to track cookies and whatnot, you don't know who they are unless they have given you an email, and you don't have a way to communicate with them, or maybe actually phone number as well these days, right? Because people are using their phones or WhatsApp or whatever more and more and more. Right. Sunita, what is your specialization currently? Because you have done it for like what, 15 years now? More? So what is your current specialization, and how do you see that evolving?
So I'm a social media advisor and blogging coach, Sudeshna, and I'm cashing upon my experience of 15 years. And that is why I have multiple businesses now. It's just I'm a business owner, I don't run them. I just think I operate as an advisor. So I have website design business, I have blog management business, and my primary thing is coaching. I coach business owners to make more money, make more time, make more better visibility. So I do business coaching for business owners, and business coaching is like vast. Sometimes people come with specific goals. Someone may come that, Sunita, I want to make a lot of money. Some may say that I have money, but I don't have an identity. Like people don't know me. So they come with a goal of presence, a stronger personal brand. So yeah, my primary thing right now is coaching business owners. And then based upon their goal, I tell them that what kind of coaching they need, whether they need social media or they need blogging.
Okay, brilliant. Pooja here says, I'm a homemaker but want to explore launching my own company as a coach. Do you have any tips? Pretty far away from most social media.
What kind of coach, Pooja? Um, which coach you want to be?
I think the chat lags for a couple of
Okay, so
minutes.
let me answer. Yeah, let me answer this at a basic level. If you want to be a coach, then I was saying tips you have as a coach, launching my own company. So if you are serious for your business, if you are sure that you are going to do this business, you are going to run this company for a longer time, then the first thing is do have a website. You don't have to have a fancy, complicated, big website. Even if it is a one pager, just like a business card, it's okay. Just one pager. It takes a day to create a one pager actually. And whenever you feel that you have tested the waters, you are sure about it, then maybe expand your website, create a good website. So the first thing that I suggest is have your website so that people can see what you do. And second tip is start with any one social network because you cannot launch a company. I am not sure what kind of company you're talking about and what your products are, what your services will be, but whatever you are planning to do, start it with one social media network. It is not necessary that you do it. It is okay if someone else manages it. If you have good budget to invest, then market on two social network, three social network, or four, or whichever you want to make. But if you are going to handle everything, then you got to learn, take good training, a basic training. If you are not going to manage it, if you're going to invest in some resource, then first have your website. Number two, choose one social network and have someone start building your business presence, your company name presence on that one social network. This is one of the most powerful yet working beginning actually. And as you start doing it within 3 to 4 months, you will start seeing some decent results, which will actually motivate you to go ahead.
Brilliant. And I can say for myself, when I started the Abundant Psyche, LinkedIn would have been my favorite social network, but I was really terrified that, you know, I'm doing this on the side of my day job, so I'll dilute my professional brand and so on. But actually, I came back to LinkedIn. So choose your social network based on what the ultimate needs of the market are, where your audience is, rather than, from a place of fear, almost like what I did. So, yeah, that is my 2 cents on. I've tried to be everywhere. I just burned myself out, so don't do that.
True, absolutely. So I think Pooja is asking a question. For cosmetics, Instagram is working the best these days, so try Instagram. I would not really suggest Facebook because it it will require advertising, a very heavy advertising budget. So I don't suggest. Instagram will work better for you. It does require a lot of work, but the returns are good on Instagram compared to Facebook. How do you find people to do this for you? The best is ask your friends and references. That is the best way because uh, there are many people, and it's easy to get trapped among some wrong hands. So the best way is to find these people through references.
That's really one of the key pieces of advice I think I've been asked on Creator before, and I think hiring is typically a challenge. So, Sunita, as you have grown your business, how have you found people? Has it always been through referral networks, or have you ever posted on, the likes of Fiverr or Upwork or other social, not social, like, hiring platforms?
A lot of experimenting, a lot of, I have burnt hand like several times because uh, I am running fairly big businesses, multiple businesses. So hiring and termination is very common in our industry. The best place is, of course, to have trusted people, train them, keep them happy, pay them enough so that they don't leave. That is one of the best ways if you are in a serious business. And second, yeah, we keep hiring, we keep finding people on places like Upwork, Fiverr, and Freelancer. Yeah, that's one of the ways. It's like these places are not the primary source. These places are actually backup. Primary people are your team, and your team doesn't have to be in-house. They can be virtual, but these are people you can trust. No matter where they are, these are the people you can trust with your detail, with your information, with your business, with your client, with your database. These are the people you can trust.
Yeah. Sometimes I have found that, you hire people on Fiverr and you probably need to fire them quicker than you hired. But equally, sometimes you end up finding people who are going to be that long-term player in your team and you are trying to make them a part of your team rather than just another freelancer you met on the internet. So I think it's a combination of both. I'll open it up for any more questions, folks. If you have any questions for Sunita, me, just about digital marketing, running a business, feel free to drop in the chat. And if we don't, or I know there's sometimes a lag, I'll just have a bit of water as well. Mm. I assume no more questions then. Um, or maybe it's just a holy thing, you know? Is personal branding always important? Charu asks.
Okay, Charu, if you are the face of your business, you can't afford to ignore personal branding. It's actually extremely important. And even if you are not the soul or the face of your brand, but in that case, having a personal brand still is recommended because it influences whatever you are doing. Even if you are not in a business, having a brand is already there. Actually, your personal brand is already there. Whether you build it or you don't build it, people already know you. What you are going to do is actually groom it, improve it, give it a shape. People already know you. Knowing you means that you already have a personal brand. So whether you work on it or you don't work on it, people already have an opinion about you. And if you are given a choice, then why not take charge of that opinion? What people think about you. That is what a personal branding is. So whether you're face or you're not a face of it, it is recommended to have a good personal brand. Even without a business, personal branding is important.
Yeah, I can't tell you enough about the importance of a personal brand outside of a business as well. Like in my career, I think, you know, what my biggest skill was that I took from digital marketing into my career, which has nothing to do with digital marketing. It was keyword research and creating content to suit my LinkedIn profile, my CV, the storytelling, all of those things. So whether you like it or not, these are the things that, I mean, I think maybe someday I should do a course on digital marketing for your CV or something like that, because that is essentially how you get found on the internet, on LinkedIn, for even job opportunities. Um, but Sunita, just to come back to that point around whether you want to be the face of your business or not, I personally definitely have struggled with this as quite an introverted person, and most people don't realize that I'm super introverted. And I think always kept on wondering, can I just not do this as a brand rather than me? Do you think it helps to have your face on as the face of your business, or do you think a brand is sufficient even for small businesses?
Deshna, if the concern is not showing your face, that is a different question. And if you don't want people not know about you at all, like you don't want to have any existence of yourself anywhere, that is a different question. What is your question?
Um, Probably both. Can you actually, now I'm really intrigued by the second one. Can you actually run a business, an online business, without you being present, or your things about you being present on the internet? Like, can you really do that? Because that sounds like the dream, right?
Yes. You can be invisible. You can be invisible. It's just someone has to take your place. If not you, then someone else. But it has to be a human. And understand, Sudeshna, this is something very interesting that people, audience, consumers, sometimes they just, when they're hungry, they need food. It doesn't matter who is giving it. As long as they are getting good food, as long as they are getting good content, it's enough. It's actually enough until you stop giving it. And it was so useful that people couldn't afford to know who is giving it. So becoming invisible is absolutely possible. It is easy. It's just someone has to take your place. And the first question, yes, you can build a good, successful business and a decent cash flow without showing your faces. It just requires a sharp, clever strategy, and yeah, it is possible. Your name will be there, you don't have to show your face. That will actually intrigue people even more and you become more exclusive. So, yeah, it's possible.
I think I'm going to come to you for advice on that. Um, uh, So Dheeraj asks, do you have any tips on organic growth for SaaS companies?
Yes, Dheeraj, very two simple things. Do have a website, and LinkedIn is the place to go. LinkedIn is slow, but for SaaS companies, LinkedIn actually performs as one of the best ways. Just have these two things. That is the most working thing I have seen, especially in the last 3 4 years. These two places, and that's all. I don't recommend any other thing because it may be a filler, it will be unnecessary effort, unnecessary investment. So, just a website, a good website actually, and LinkedIn, these two. And LinkedIn is purely organic actually. Even if you plan to do advertising on LinkedIn, it's just too expensive, way too expensive, and very, very little return. So, LinkedIn is a brilliant platform along with a good website.
Great. I think definitely in the professional space, I have seen that ads work lesser than in, I think, beauty or maybe even business. Like there are a lot of business coaches who target you on Facebook, etc. But in general, my hunch is that professionals are less likely to click on ads. Like I generally don't click on ads, so I'd imagine most people like me don't either. Um, any other questions, comments? I know, Sunita, the moment I say if not, we'll say bye and then some question will come up. So I'll just give it 30 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
Did you have fun playing Holi today?
A lot
Yep.
of it.
So
A
I can't
lot.
see the colors. I can't see the colors on your face. Did you just ask them to save your face?
No, no, not at all. Not at all, actually. It's just my skin is oily and the colors they don't stick much. I was looking good. I was looking very colorful today.
Oh, good, good, good. Yeah, like I remember we used to put oil before going out to play so that the colors would at least come off the face. Yeah. Right. So Dheeraj asks, this is out of scope, but I'm building a SaaS tool and need a sales team. How do you motivate them? Oh wow, that is, I don't know, that is a bit beyond my scope.
So when it comes to a sales teams are motivated by sales, Dheeraj, actually. This is the only thing that motivates them because most of the teams they have a target and people are usually under pressure, they are usually on high, they are totally in a different zone. So sales teams they are motivated by sales and how sales are done faster, how conversions can happen. That is possible when you train your sales team well, and when you keep training your sales team again and again, even if it is trained well. That is the only way because roadblocks come. So if you want to motivate your team, then one, get them trained with a good sales trainer. And number two, have this training often, this recurring training. You have no idea, you don't have to work to motivate them. They will be motivated on their own because they know that you're investing in them. And then instead of giving it a pressure, they feel like working towards anything that you want them inside actually. They work on their own without motivation.
Great. Okay, so we are nearing the top of the hour, so maybe we'll try and close it here. Sunita, thank you so much for joining. It's been such a pleasure to reconnect and have this conversation. Like I said, I might get in touch with you, but for people who are looking to get in touch with you, how do they connect with you?
They can find me anywhere actually. They just need to search my name on Google, and wherever they are active, I might be there actually already.
You see, digital marketing at its best. You put Sunita Vidhu on Google and you'll find her somewhere. So, okay, great. Lovely chatting. Thanks, all of you, for hanging out with us, even on a tired evening, which is for most of India and playing Holi, I'd imagine. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all soon.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much, Sudeshna. It's lovely to see you for the first time and reconnecting, of course.
Yeah, yeah, of course. This is what you don't realize, that people don't want to show their faces on um, social media all the time, and you can actually. This was the advantage of the early days of the internet. We did great business together for like 4, 5 years without ever seeing each other's face. So the magic
Work
of the internet.
speaks. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
got your answer, Sudeshna. The work speaks. You don't have to show your face. Consumers need what they need.
Mm, brilliant. Just deliver on what people want and you'll get your customers.
Yeah,
On that
yeah.
note, goodbye and have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.